Hi, I'm Coach Munford. I'm here for the California Sports Institute. We're running the CFL Prep Combine Camp. We're putting it on because last year when we ran the free agent camp for 3 CFL teams, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, and Toronto, one of the big feedbacks that came back from the scouts and the general managers in attendance was that athletes seem to have a lot of trouble actually properly executing, first of all, the combine tests, which I see that every day when I train athletes. Guys think they know how to do the combine tests, but they were messing up the starts of the 40. They didn't know how to actually cheat some of the tests, like the side test. When they were doing the vertical jumps, they're messing up their leg position. So we walk the athletes through that and teach them how to go through a proper testing situation in front of professional eyes. And the second thing, and probably the most important thing, is they had a lot of trouble understanding the CFL game. Football is football, but there are definite nuances between American football and Canadian football. And it's a big comment that the scouts and the coaches and general managers in attendance made, that the athletes didn't understand the rules of the game. For example, receivers, with the multiple movement, constant movement at the line of scrimmage, weren't taking advantage, didn't know how the spacing they were supposed to get outside the tackle box, etc. Also on the defensive side of things, when you've got an athlete running at you and you're supposed to jam them and you have to be off the ball a yard, it changes your world completely. So what we try to do is we teach the athletes how to actually prepare to train for the CFL game. So the first day of the camp, the Saturday of the camp, what we do is we get in the athletes and we walk them through each combine test. Yes, we'll get the metrics for them, but the main thing is we teach each specific drill how to test, how to carry their body positions and their body languages for the scouts and the general managers. At night of the first day, all the players come back to our facility at the California Sports Institute, and we've got game film provided by the CFL. When we're going to run the game film by position, so we'll break up into position groups, and each position will sit with a coach, and we will go over the rules that are specific to their position. So offensive linemen are going to understand that defensive linemen's a yard off the ball. The field is much wider, so the throwing lanes and the rushing lanes are wider as well. It also is going to affect the defensive linemen because they're a yard off the ball. They can't get their hands on the offensive lineman as soon as possible. So their pass rush lanes are different. It's a wider, faster game. We're going to sit down with each position group, for example, running backs and linebackers. Running backs are going to know where to exit the tackle boxes. Linebackers have to know how to turn their hips a little bit differently than they would in the CFL. So we sit down with each position group and go through that on the Saturday, so day one of it. So the next day, they have that information and we get back into, by position groups, so only receivers and DBs are on the field at one time, and then running backs, linebackers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen. Each position group will get a long, extended, coached individual period. So when they're actually at the tryout camps, there's no coaching at the tryout camps. The drills are set up, and then they have to perform them. So the CFL coaching part of it is we'll go through the actual specific skills for each position in relationship to the game, which is different than the NFL. And then after they do a long, extended individual period, so an hour-long individual period, then we'll jump into one-on-ones. So what guys can do is take what they've learned in that individual period, match up in one-on-ones. And so now you start to press at the line of scrimmage if you're a defensive back. You start to do the right waggle if you're a receiver at the line of scrimmage. Offensive linemen are going to be able to set their inside foot a little bit better than they would in the NFL game, or a little bit more relevant to the CFL game. So we do that position by position. So at the end of the two-day camp, you're actually able to go back, adjust your training for the CFL game. So when you show up in April for a 3-team CFL combine, and probably a 4-team CFL combine this year, you'll actually have a chance to compete, not just athletically, but understand the game and show your skill set to the scouts and general managers in attendance. So quite honestly, I don't know how you are preparing for a camp, a true tryout camp, without going through something like this for the CFL. Again, the rules are different, so you have to learn those rules.